welcome back.
Hello.
We're looking at
Juniors, the battle of the juniors.
juniors.
So, I think this is something that people probably go through when they go to buy a junior. Do you buy an SG junior or do you buy a Les Paul junior? So, they are both very, very similar things in regards to their electronics. Single P90, 2 control knobs, and that is it. The range of tones you get with them are there. You can roll off, you can clean up a bit, and you can roll off your tone, and that is your lot. The simplistic beauty to these, I think, is there. So let's have some tones just solely out of a Les Paul Junior.
So this is using like a Fendery kind of sound. We're using our Dream today.
Yeah, Universal Audio Dream.
So this is like a fully up. Quite dirty, quite clangy. Quite raucous, really.
Yeah.
If I try turning that tone all the way off.
What is up?
You've got your woman tone
You
there,
have.
haven't you?
You have.
Quite good for the bluesy stuff though, isn't it?
It is. I'd say it is a lot. If you bring that tone back up.
That's halfway up and then all the way up. Quite like it at 5 actually.
Yeah.
What I would say about this is it doesn't go harsh or nasty. There's nothing. When I look at guitars with just one pickup in the bridge, I always think, oh, why would you do that?
It's just There's nowhere to go, is there?
But it's actually, you've got a palette here.
You have got a big palette there, and I think one thing to just do straight away is after hearing that, plug that one in, and let's just do a straight comparison. They're both in E. That's a straight comparison between a Les Paul Junior and an SG Junior through that amp, through that Fender Dream.
So I've got it all the way up. It's a bit more sort of refined sound to me. A bit more mid-range focus. It kind of pops in the mids. It's quite, we've got that spike SG thing. I'm just going to roll it off. Get the woman tone again. And this sounds like it's in a fuzz.
It does. It's got a bit more grit about it. I'm gonna do exactly the same as what we just done, but I'm using a Lion, which is a Marshall orientated pedal. So what that is emulating is a 65 Super Reverb. This is emulating a 68 Marshall Super Lead. So I'll just do some gritty big chords. So I'll roll off. We'll stick it on 5. It takes a little bit of top off. It's not a massive difference.
It's still got the punchy mid kind of thing going on. There's a lot of low end going on there.
Let's try and get some cleanish sort of tones out of it. So I'll bring the tone back up and roll your volume back.
I would say most Gibsons, and this is why I love Gibsons, they have high end in the low, they have low end in their high end.
Yeah.
They tend to never go thin and scratchy.
No.
Not when I think you can process them to sound like that, but actually that has all of those kind of things going on.
I think this almost sounds, it's just very... Let's go back to that SG, let's just try that one. It's straight comparison, similar sort of riffs and stuff. So Marshall sort of sound. So let's just go straight into. It's got more SG about it, obviously, because it's an SG. For those that don't know, a P90 pickup, and it amazes me when I do exhibitions and that people don't fully even know what a P90 is. So it is, in essence, just a big single coil. It is just a big lot of wire around one single magnet. It is a bigger version of what you get on a Strat or a Tele. And in a Gibson, I think that works quite well. It gives it a very unique sort of sound. And if you're more like you're a Fender guy and you go, I really like the sound of my Tele or I like the sound of my Strat, but I'm not a fan of the way it feels, which I've got to be honest with you, I'm not a big lover of the way Strats and Teles feel to play. I've always been more of a Gibson person. Then you've got your halfway house with these. They're always perceived as well as being quite at the bottom end of Gibson stuff. And of course, in the 50s when these were launched, they were launched as the studio, as the entry-level guitar for Gibson. Along with melody makers and things like that. So they were the student guitar for what they were putting out. They're designed to be cheap, is the word, in the 50s when they launched them. So you got no binding up the side of the fretboards, obviously like on the guitars that are behind us. 61 standard there, Les Paul standard, 335 and a Firebird. They've all got nice binding and they've got things around the body and they've got, all this sort of stuff. Juniors just don't have that. They are a tool.
They're just a guitar, aren't they?
They are a lump of wood with wire on and a P90 and 2 control knobs, and you have it. And if you don't like what it does, well, you need to go and buy something else.
I think they make a great sort of punk guitar.
Yeah.
I think they make a great... to be honest with you, you could make a lot of great music with a Junior. I think you don't... It's just... It proves to you what you don't need sometimes.
Yeah, it is a simplistic beauty, and there's a lot of bands, there's a lot of people that have made their sound, an iconic sound, out of using the Junior. I mean, I know I always see Juniors, and I think that Green Day.
Oh yeah, that
Joe.
kind of.
So he's got a whole range of signature Juniors, TV yellow ones, and he's got sunburst ones like you got there, and wacky coloured ones and stuff like that.
I think did Bob Marley have a Junior just like this? When you skank him with that, it's just a nice tool to be doing that with.
Works very well for that.
Yeah. But it sings, it sustains like it should, I love it. I think it's great.
They are great. They are wicked guitars. They're very simple. They're very easy. New price of these, I think SG Juniors at the minute are about the £1,400 mark. And I think Les Paul Juniors, they're coming I think there's a couple of different styles that they do. Again, some of the sort of money, sort of 1,500, 1,400 quid. Which, all right, for those of you that remember 20 years ago, you could go and buy a Gibson Les Paul Standard for that money.
That's scary, when you think about it. Well, I bought an SG Junior in the States, but it was something like $299.
Yes.
And I got it home. I just put it in my guitar bag that I went out with and bolted my Telecaster. And that guitar, I think by the time I'd converted all the money, it was like 250 quid.
Yeah.
And I should not have sold it.
No.
I should not have sold it.
Because they were cheap, they do, obviously they do like worn finish ones, which have like a no lacquer on. These are both lacquered versions. They're both as they should be. But like they do worn finish, they do satin finish versions, which are even cheaper. But I mean, really, they're just, a lot of people look down on them. And I think they get a lot of people going, oh, they're just a bit rudimentary and a bit agricultural. But they have their place against even high-end guitars. And of course, you can buy custom shop versions of both of these, which will set you back the cost of a good second-hand family hatchback. 4 or 5 grand for a 57 reissue Les Paul Junior custom shop Murphy Lab, and the same with the
the VOS finish, that kind of stuff.
And you know what? That is one thing that I don't get. Not to speak ill of Gibson, but I have had a couple of custom shop Juniors, and I go, where is that? Where's my 3 grand gone here? Because you can play that, and if we did have, unfortunately we haven't got one in at the minute, but if I did put a 57 custom shop Junior in your hands, I'd be very surprised if you went, oh yeah, this is so much worth the £3 more.
So when I was at Lidl the other day,
Yes.
and there was a lad driving round in a Nissan Micra, and it with a very loud exhaust. In fact, it was an exhaust with a Nissan Micra attached to it.
Nice, yeah, okay.
And it kind of reminds me of that. Like we're like, who are you trying to kid with that?
Yeah,
No one's impressed.
It is.
No one is impressed.
I think you can get R7s like which play compared to say 50s Gold Top, and there is a jump there. Still, arguably, is it the value? Is it the money jump? Well, you can be the judge of that. But I've played, and I've even had in the shop, custom shop 335s, custom shop, Gibson Les Pauls, R7s, R8s. You feel that a little bit more than I would say you do with the custom shop variants of this stuff. Because at the end of the day, it kind of detracts from the whole purpose of the guitar. It's meant to be cheap.
It's supposed to be a cheap and cheerful
cheerful weapon of making sort of rocky sort of music.
Yeah.
And when you go put a £3,000 or £4,000 price tag on it, it's like, oh, really?
It's like buying cool, isn't it? Because there's an attitude to these guitars, I think, that you don't get with the higher end guitars. Like you can't. I know that I've got a Les Paul Standard and I love it. Yeah. But if I'm trying to play with attitude, just balls to the wall kind of playing. It ain't this.
No,
you know what I'm saying.
They do one thing really well, and that's it. And it owns a thing. So, yeah,
great. I love it. Les Paul Jr.
Yeah,
SG Jr. Harry, which one would you actually pick if it was your personal guitar?
When it comes to standards, so like the things behind us up there, absolutely a Les Paul every day of the week. I've always had a soft spot for SG Juniors, simply because they weigh. Nothing.
This is very, very light. This is like a bottle of milk.
I've had this one. To be fair, is probably one of the heaviest SG Juniors we've had in here. Some of them are like half the weight of a Strat. It's crazy the weight that they are. They're so light, and they're just simple things. And the other thing as well, I look at some Les Pauls. If they're bashed up, I don't think Gibson suit the relic look, or even still the heavy use look. Whereas these, when they're bashed up, there's that chap.
They look vibey.
There's that chap in America who's getting all manner of old stuff.
Jared James Nichols.
No, not him. He uses one as well.
But he uses one, and I think he talks about sort of there's something special about a guitar that hasn't got two pickups.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got two magnets pulling on the strings all the time, so he's quite a tactile. Feely player with his, he picks everything with his fingers, and he's got a great kind of tone.
It bounces off that with the P90. If you dig in with your fingers, with your finger picking, you get far more response out of that. Like that.
Oh yeah. It's cool, man.
Yeah, it is. They are cool guitars, and I think like I said, a lot of people do look down on them because they're not, all the singing and dancing. People go out and go, "I wanted to buy a Gibson all my life." It's probably not the guitar they're going to walk in a shop and buy because they want what's there as a Gold Top or a Les Paul Standard. But I think if you've got a plethora of guitars and you haven't got either one of these two in your arsenal, you're missing out.
Yeah,
you're missing out on something that you should have in your tone lab. So
I think I'd go for the SG as well.
It just looks business.
It does. It looks
that looks
with that
so
scratch
cool.
plate and the way the dog-eared P90 and the wraparound bridge. It's just, and when you feel it, that one feels quite special. I mean, this is nice. It's a dead resonant guitar.
Yeah.
Like if I woke up one day and my wife had bought me this, hint hint. If you're watching,
Brave.
But rude.
Rude,
But if I woke up with that, I'd just be like over the moon with this.
Yeah.
I'd be dead happy with it. I don't like on this. This is a 2015 one because Les Paul's on the back, watching me and judging me for all my sins.
It's got LP 100. It's got a brass nut.
If you've seen Les Paul play guitar, you don't want to see him watching you.
No.
It'd be horrible.
But then it's got. So obviously this one was one with robotic tuners on it. It has no longer got those on it. We've put proper clousons on it.
This has got some really nice check-in,
It started to craze up. This one has as well, to be fair. This has
some
got
great check-in.
But they
love it.
Yeah, it is a 2015 model. But you take off that G-Force tuning system, which I don't know, 0.03% out of 100 will like it, and the other 99.7 will go no.
We'll put a vote out actually on the channel to see what if people think G-Force tuning systems are nice, because I bet the result would be like,
well,
don't take it off.
A little story quickly. I had a Firebird high performance coming here, and the other guitarist in my band saw it, and he was like that, like this. So he borrowed it for the day, came down here to rehearsal, and the way you do it, there's a little button on the back, you hit it, and you go like this, and it tunes itself. What happened was he did that, he pressed the little button, went like that, and all the strings just went zzz, and he was there with strings just dangling on the floor like that.
Oh my god.
And I had an incident where I bought a brand new Les Paul traditional high performance, and I was doing a gig in Colville, and I looked at my guitar, which was on a stand, and it broke everything apart from the A string.
Broke all your strings?
Yes. So that is personal experience of the G-Force high performance thing that goes on your guitar.
Burn it.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was just like a radio wave for a microphone or something like that, or some sort of Wi-Fi thing, or the football on and annoyed the system.
It's like a Black Mirror episode to me.
Yeah.
Like things like that.
Yeah, so
yeah, I'm not keen.
I'm sure there's those people that have them and they've worked wonders and you get on really well with it, but I haven't had that experience yet. I'm waiting for it. But both of these guitars, well, this one doesn't have it, never had it. This is a 2011, so this is as it should be, and so is that one.
So how much would one of those set you back? Right
Used
now in
market,
2024.
I think this one is actually up for sale. That one isn't. This one up for sale for, I think it's 850 quid, 900 quid in that region.
Okay.
Second-hand market of these, anything between 800 and 1,000 quid. Weirdly enough, the SG Specials you buy, or the SG Juniors you buy in Gibson World today come with a hard case, whereas the Standard doesn't. Comes with a bag. Go figure.
Okay.
So the cheap guitar, the budget guitar in the Gibson lineup does come with a hard case. Comes with a nice tan hard case.
Oh wow, like you get with the Les Pauls.
The SG Standard comes in a bag.
There we go.
That makes perfect sense, right? So there you go.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.